All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I'm Benetrez Young, and today we are diving into something absolutely massive. We're talking about the best of the best, the certified legends, the guys who were so unbelievably dominant that the entire league had to stop and give them a trophy. That's right, we are counting down the top 10 NFL regular season MVPs of all time. This ain't just about who had one good year. This is about the dudes who grabbed the league by the throat and made it their own year after year. These are the players who didn't just play the game, they changed it forever. They were pioneers, they were record breakers, they were straight up dogs who left a legacy that's still being talked about today. Now this list, let me tell you, this thing was tough to put together. You're talking about splitting hairs between absolute titans of the sport. We're talking about guys who defined entire eras of professional football. I'm gonna get yelled at, I know it. People are gonna be furious. How could you leave out so-and-so? This guy is way too low. And you know what? I love it. That's what this is all about. The passion, the debate, the absolute love for the game. We're gonna break it all down from number 10 all the way to the undisputed number 1. So, before we even get this thing started, I need you to get down in those comments right now. Let me know who's on your Mount Rushmore of MVPs. Who's your number 1? Who did I criminally underrate? Fire away. Let the arguments begin, because that's half the fun of this beautiful sport we all love. Let's get this thing started. Let's have a day. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a story so unbelievable you'd think Hollywood wrote it. And well, they kinda did. We're talking about Kurt Warner, the grocery store stock boy who became a 2-time NFL MVP. Think about that for a second. This dude was bagging groceries, goes over to the Arena League, then NFL Europe, and then just casually steps onto the field and orchestrates the greatest show on turf. In 1999, nobody knew who this guy was. And then bam! He throws for 41 touchdowns, leads the Rams to a Super Bowl, and wins his first MVP. It was an absolute whirlwind, a shock to the entire system. He wasn't just managing the game, he was slinging it with a confidence that was just off the charts. And just to prove it wasn't a fluke, a one-hit wonder, he comes back in 2001 and does it again, another MVP award. The dude was a machine. His story is the ultimate underdog tale, a testament to never giving up on your dream, and that's incredible. But let's not let the story overshadow the player. Kurt Warner had a lightning-quick release and incredible accuracy. He read defenses like a seasoned vet from day one. He made everyone around him better. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, they all became legends alongside him. For a guy to come from literally nowhere and win 2 MVPs, putting up some of the most historic offensive numbers ever, yeah, he's earned his spot on this list. What a legend. Coming in at number 9 is a running back who, in his prime, was a walking, talking video game cheat code. I'm talking about the one, the only LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. And specifically, we have to talk about that 2006 season. Good grief. That wasn't just an MVP season, it was an all-out assault on the NFL record books. This man scored 31 total touchdowns. 31! That's a record that still stands today and honestly, might never be broken. He ran for 28 touchdowns and even threw for a couple just for the heck of it. He was the entire Chargers offense. You knew he was getting the ball. The defense knew he was getting the ball. The people watching at home knew he was getting the ball, and it just didn't matter. He was unstoppable. It was pure, unadulterated dominance. LT wasn't just a power back or just a speed guy, he was everything. He had the vision, the jump cut that would break your ankles, the power to run you over at the goal line, and the hands to catch passes out of the backfield. He was the complete package, the prototype for the modern, all-purpose back. In an era that was becoming more and more about the quarterback, LT put the whole league on his back and reminded everyone that a running back could be the most valuable, most dangerous player on the entire field. That 2006 season was a masterpiece, a work of art, and it makes him an absolute lock for this list. At number 8, we've got the guy who was so cool under pressure, they called him Joe Cool. The master of the comeback, the architect of a dynasty, the legendary Joe Montana. Now, Joe only has 2 MVP awards to his name, winning them back-to-back in '89 and '90, but his impact is so much bigger than that. When you think of a quarterback who you'd want with the ball in his hands, down by 4 with a minute to go, for a lot of people, Joe Montana is the first name that comes to mind. He was surgical. He didn't have the biggest arm, he wasn't the fastest guy, but his mind for the game and his accuracy were second to none. He was a maestro conducting the beautiful symphony that was Bill Walsh's West Coast offense. His 1989 season in particular was just flawless. He completed over 70% of his passes, which was just unheard of at the time, and had a ridiculous passer rating of 112.4. He was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. He made it look effortless. People remember him for the Super Bowls, for the catch, for pointing out John Candy in the stands before driving 92 yards to win a championship. But his regular season greatness is what put them in those positions in the first place. He was the calm in the storm, the leader of one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. 2 MVPs and a legacy of being the ultimate winner. Yeah, that gets you on the list, no question about it. Alright, let's get modern with it at number 7. This guy might seem a little high on the list for some folks because he's still writing his story, but what he's already done is just undeniable. We're talking about Patrick Lavon Mahomes II. This dude is a walking human highlight reel. He's already got 2 MVP awards before the age of 30, and honestly, it feels like he's just getting started. His first full season as a starter in 2018, he walks out there, throws for 50 touchdowns and over 5,000 yards and wins MVP. Just like that. It was like watching a created player in Madden come to life. The no-look passes, the sidearm slings, the scrambling around and just flicking it 60 yards downfield for a touchdown. We had never seen anything like it. He completely broke the mold of what a quarterback could be. He combines the brain of a pocket passer with the improvisational genius of a backyard football legend. He's got the arm strength to make any throw on the planet from any platform imaginable. Off his back foot, on the run, left-handed if he has to. He's a defensive coordinator's absolute nightmare. Every single snap, you have to account for the fact that he can do something impossible. 2 MVPs already in the bag and a style of play that has completely captivated the entire league. He's not just a star, he's a phenomenon, and he's already one of the all-time great MVPs. Now we're going way back in the time machine for number 6. We're talking about the guy who basically invented the modern quarterback position. The man with the golden arm, Johnny Unitas. This dude was the original gunslinger, the prototype for everything we see today. He won 3 MVP awards in an era where running the ball was everything. He was the one who made the forward pass the most exciting play in football. Before Unitas, the 2-minute drill wasn't really a thing. He invented it. He pioneered it. He was calling his own plays from the huddle, reading defenses, and slinging the pigskin with a swagger that the league had never seen before. He was tough as nails, rocking those iconic high-top cleats, and he just commanded respect. His streak of 47 straight games with a touchdown pass was a record that stood for over 50 years. Think about how insane that is. In that era, with the rules they had, to be that consistent was just mind-boggling. He led the Colts to the greatest game ever played in 1958, a game that essentially put the NFL on the map and launched it into the national consciousness. Johnny U wasn't just an MVP, he was a trailblazer. He's one of the most important figures in the history of the sport, and his 3 MVP awards are a testament to his revolutionary impact on the game. Cracking our top 5 is a guy who was pure, unadulterated entertainment every single time he stepped on the field. The gunslinger himself, number 4, Brett Favre. This man was the only player in NFL history to win the MVP award 3 years in a row. 3 consecutive seasons. From 1995 to 1997, he owned the National Football League. It was his world, and everyone else was just living in it. You tuned in to watch the Packers just to see what Favre was going to do next. Was he going to rifle a 30-yard laser into a window the size of a shoebox for a touchdown? Or was he going to throw an underhanded shovel pass interception? You never knew, and that was the beauty of it. He played the game with the joy of a kid in the backyard. The passion, the energy, it was infectious. And let's not forget the toughness. The man started 297 consecutive games, a record that is absolutely unbreakable in today's NFL. He was playing on broken thumbs, sprained ankles, you name it. He just refused to sit down. That mentality, combined with that cannon of an arm, made him a living legend. He brought the Packers back from irrelevance and made Lambeau Field the most feared place to play in the league. 3 straight MVPs and an Iron Man streak for the ages, that's legendary stuff. Brett Favre was a force of nature. Alright, at number 4 we have the guy who took the torch from Brett Favre in Green Bay, and somehow might have been even better. We're talking about the master of the Hail Mary, the most efficient quarterback we have ever seen, Aaron Rodgers. This dude has 4 MVP awards. Only one guy on this list has more. 4 times he was voted the best player in the entire league. That is just staggering. What Rodgers did was take the gunslinger mentality of Favre and combine it with the surgical precision of a supercomputer. The arm talent is just absurd. He can make every throw imaginable, but it's his brain that sets him apart. His ability to avoid turnovers is historic. His touchdown to interception ratio is something that shouldn't be possible. There were seasons where he'd throw 40+ touchdowns and like 4 interceptions. It's comical. You just can't do that in the NFL, but he did repeatedly. He's also maybe the best ever at drawing defenses offsides with his hard count. He's a master manipulator pre-snap. When he was in his zone, it was like watching Picasso paint. Every throw was perfect. Every decision was right. The 2011 season in particular was one of the greatest single seasons a quarterback has ever had. He was playing on a different planet. 4 MVPs in a career defined by mind-bending efficiency and talent gets him this high on the list, absolutely. Chapter 8. Coming in at number 3 is a man who might be the single most dominant football player to ever walk the earth. We're talking about the great Jim Brown. This is a guy who played 9 seasons in the NFL, and he was the league MVP in 3 of them. And in the other 6 seasons, he was probably the runner-up. He led the league in rushing in 8 of his 9 seasons. Let that sink in. Everyone in the stadium knew he was getting the ball, and for 9 straight years, nobody could stop him. He was bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody else on the field. It was men against a boy, except he was the man. He averaged over 100 yards per game for his entire career. No one else is even close to that. He played in an era of 12, then 14 game seasons, and his numbers are still staggering. And then at the absolute peak of his powers, at age 29, he just walked away. He retired to go be a movie star. He could have shattered every rushing record imaginable if he'd kept playing, but he didn't need to. He had already proven everything. He was a force of nature, a legend whose myth has only grown over time. When old-timers talk about the greatest ever, Jim Brown's name is always one of the first to come up. 3 MVPs in 9 seasons and a legacy of pure, uncut dominance. A true icon. Chapter 9. At number 2, and I know this is going to cause some chaos, we have the man who is widely considered the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, TB12. Now, before the pitchforks come out, remember this is a regular season MVP list. Brady has 3 of them, which is obviously incredible, but his legend is built on his 7 Super Bowl rings. That being said, his regular season greatness is still the stuff of legend. His 2007 MVP season is one of the most dominant displays ever. He threw for 50 touchdowns, leading the Patriots to a perfect 16-0 regular season. They were an absolute juggernaut, a death machine, and he was the conductor. It was flawless football. But what's truly insane about Brady is the longevity. The man won his 3rd MVP award at age 40. 40! That's an age when most guys have been retired for 5 years, coaching their kids' Pop Warner team. Brady was out there slinging it, leading the league in passing yards and being the best player in the sport. It defies logic, it defies science. He completely rewrote the book on how long a quarterback could play at an elite level. 3 MVPs spread out over a decade, including one as a 40-year-old, is a testament to his insane work ethic, his competitiveness, and his place as one of the very best to ever do it. His case for number 1 is strong, but there's just one man who did it better in the regular season. Chapter 10. And here we are, the number 1 regular season MVP of all time. The sheriff, the maestro at the line of scrimmage, the one and only Peyton Manning. This man won the MVP award 5 times. 5, that's the record, and it's not even close. 2 more than anybody else. That alone should end the debate, but it goes so much deeper. Peyton Manning revolutionized the quarterback position. The pre-snap reads, the audibles, the Omaha calls. He was a coach on the field. He controlled the game in a way no one had before. He was playing a mental game that was light years ahead of every defense he faced. He would walk up to the line, look at the defense, and know exactly what they were going to do before they did it. His 2013 season with the Broncos is the single greatest offensive season in NFL history. 55 touchdown passes, 5,477 passing yards. Both are records that still stand. He was 37 years old, coming off multiple neck surgeries that almost ended his career, and he put up video game numbers. It was a masterclass. But it wasn't just that one year, it was year after year of elite, consistent, mind-boggling production. He won MVPs with 2 different franchises. He lifted every single player around him. He was the system. When you look at what the Most Valuable Player award truly means, the player who is most indispensable to his team's success during the regular season, no one embodies that more than Peyton Manning. 5-time MVP, the number 1 on our list, case closed. And there you have it. That is the list. The top 10 regular season MVPs to ever lace them up. From Kurt Warner's fairy tale to Peyton Manning's absolute dominance, these are the guys who defined greatness. Man, what a trip down memory lane. These players weren't just great, they were titans who shaped the game we love. Agree with the list? Furious with the list? I want to hear it all. This is what it's all about, the passion, the debate. I know I probably left off one of your favorite players, and I'm ready to hear about it. Let me have it. This was an absolute blast to put together, and I hope you guys had just as much fun watching it. If you did, do me a huge favor. Go down below, smash that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on what we've got coming next. We're just getting started around here, and the community we're building is everything. The engagement, the comments, the arguments, it makes this whole thing go. So thank you truly for tuning in and being a part of it. Now, for the last time today, get in those comments. I want to see your top 10 lists. Who's your number 1? Who's the biggest snub in NFL history? Share this video with your buddies and argue with them about it. Let's get the conversation going. Thanks again for watching, everyone. We appreciate the hell out of you. Stay safe, be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.